made a mistake and sent the wrong planes to the wrong country, and then it happened the other way around. That's probably not true. That's what people say. Anyway, so they take this painting, the Gustav Klimt painting. It is a portrait of the lady of the house, and they take it to a museum in Australia, and they want to give it to the museum for free. And that's 1970s. And the director of the museum looks at the painting and says, "Oh wow, you know, very beautiful painting." But then he says, "But you know, it really doesn't match my collection so well. So thank you so much, but I'm not gonna take it." Yeah, and then the author says, and this was probably the largest mistake that the director of a museum has ever made in his life. It's now in England. I don't know how it ended up there, but it is now in London. But the book is really a very nice book, okay? The Good Living Street. So we are going to the Opera House now to finish our tour. And I know that it's never nice, you know, when you visit the city and the weather that is not so beautiful the way we enjoy it more, of course. But you know what? First of all, one thing that you really should do in Vienna is go to a coffee house. Yeah, yeah. The coffee houses are a big story here in Vienna. They say that coffee was actually brought by the Ottomans when they had to finally retreat in 1683. They left behind some beans, like 500 bags with beans, and one guy knew that this was coffee and asked the emperor, you know, whether he could get those, and the emperor didn't object because, you know, it's beans, what do you do with those anyway? So he gave him the beans, and this guy knew it was coffee and that you had to roast them and grind them and put water over them, and then you would drink the coffee. Well, they made coffee, but the Viennese didn't like the coffee because it was very bitter, so they experimented and put sugar and milk inside. And this is how the most famous Viennese coffee, let's say the most popular, I mean that one, the Viennese, if you go to, if you need a coffee drink from Vienna, and he says what kind of coffee you suggest, probably 90% of those will tell you mélange. Yeah, mélange is a French word, mélanger, to mix, because it's a mix of half coffee and half milk froth. And then you also can put sugar inside, of course. Yeah, but of course, what is a coffee without a cake? So we want a cake with coffee, or even tea, or hot chocolate with cake. The most famous coffee is named after the inventor, and it is called the Sachertorte. The Sachertorte is a chocolate torte with apricot lining and chocolate cover on top. And that's exactly what it is, a chocolate torte. Yeah, it's the chocolate torte with the best marketing in the world, but it's still a chocolate torte. So please lower your expectations that you might have from reading so much about it. Well, fact is that they bake incredible 370,000 cakes every year. Yeah, the Sacher is also a hotel because the son of the one who created the torte builds the Sacher Hotel, which is one of the two most prestigious hotels in the city. The Imperial here on the left-hand side again coming, and the Sacher Hotel, which is behind the Opera. So if you want to do the original Sacher torte, you have to go to the Sacher Hotel. All these 370,000 cakes are sold only by the Sacher Hotel. Either they ship it or they, I don't know, they sell it in their own places. Yeah, but honestly, every coffee house has the Sacher torte. Yeah, so just in case there's a line, we'll see now. It doesn't have to be the Sacher. You can also go to another place and eat a good Sacher torte there. And if you don't like a chocolate torte, there are plenty of other tortes that in the coffee houses that you should try. Yeah? Vienna is famous for those very lush coffee houses. Yeah, coffee houses in the very beginning were very rough places, you know, not very comfortable. But then in the early 1800s, they started doing these very nice, lush and beautiful coffee houses. And this is what Vienna is really famous for. Yeah? Then, in my opinion, you should also walk into the Church of St. Stephen's. St. Stephen's, the first martyr, has this church here, which is not the oldest church of the city, but its oldest parts are from the 1200s. And they have been cleaning it, by the way, for already 26 years. And they will work another 13 years to finally get it ready, because it's a porous sand limestone, and they cannot just, cover it up and sandblast it, because it would fall into pieces. Yeah, so it's really done by hand, and that's why you see some parts which are beautifully clean and some areas which are really dirty. And this is what the city had looked like. Yeah, all the city was as dirty. The St. Stephen's Cathedral has 7 to 9 services going on. There is a service right now, and it should finish in approximately 15 minutes. And then you can always go inside the cathedral and have a look, and take a photograph from the back. But if you wanna walk around through the whole cathedral, you have to pay some small entrance fee. Yeah, it's not a lot, but there's a small entrance fee. You can also go up the spires, but it's not so advisable, honestly, because the high spire has it has 344 steps, which I'm sure for many of you is not a problem. But the problem is that it's a spiral staircase going up and down in the same, very narrow, hardly 2 people fit next to each other. So honestly, that is for me the big problem. So that's why I don't like to go up there, the high spire. So straight down now is a pedestrian walkway from the Opera House here to St. Stephen's Cathedral. It's 10 minutes walking, but it's a shopping mall. So eventually you might, as I told you, take a little bit longer. Yeah, so that's another thing. If all of a sudden, there's a bit of rain coming, just go into a shop or a coffee house or into the church here. On the right hand side is the Sacher Hotel. I can't believe it. There's again a line of people standing here, on the right. But as said, you don't have to go to this one. There are others just round the corner. On the right hand side here is the Mozart Cafe, which is very good here on the square. And further down on the left, on the right hand side down there is a cafe on the corner, the yellow building that you see there. With this, I'm going to hand the microphone to Bonita, because I'm sure that she wants to talk to you a little bit. I thank you very much for coming to Vienna, and I'm sorry about the weather, something I can't change for you, but I hope that you'll still enjoy the city, and I hope to see you back here again. So we say, Auf Wiedersehen. See you again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Renate. Thank you very much. The bicycle.